Good afternoon. I think you guys are more warmed up. Let's get more interactive, shall we? I'm gonna show you 3 words. Shout something for me, okay? What pops up in your mind? Go ahead. And then? Not Apple. What else? ChatGPT, perfect. Anything else? Future. Okay, these are all great answers. Now today I'm gonna share something with you, and hopefully by the end of it, I can give you some second thoughts and some juice to rethink these preconceptions, all right? Let's begin. Innovation. A lot of you talk about technology, some advanced stuff, and usually it's more techy, sciencey, right? But I'm gonna tell you it's not that. In America, every year, there's a hot dog eating contest. So it hosts for like 40 years. The game is like within 12 minutes, how many hot dogs can you eat? So the record was like 25, 24, something like that. In 2001, there was a Japanese guy called Takuru, and then he broke the record. Do you want to guess what is the new record? Maybe 28 or 30? It could be like a very decent 10 to 20% improvement, right? But no, he made it to 50. So it's impressive, right? What has he done? Is by one simple trick. Instead of just eating the hot dogs, dipping in water, he broke them in half first and then chuck it. But it is because of this one simple trick, he doubled the record. And that in my book is innovation. It's nothing about technology. Technology is just a tool. Innovation is more like the approach, how you create something, do something new, and how you solve problems in a way no one thought of it before. Second, AI and robots. Someone shouted ChatGPT, right? And that's great. And then maybe some advanced stuff like, robot economy, killer robots replacing humans, stuff like that. And they are all true. In fact, so many people worry about, say, doctors, lawyers, accountants, writers, or even pilots. Their work can be replaced. And it's correct, it could be. But these people are not gonna be replaced. They are gonna be here because we need humans' input for creativity, ethics, strategy. Ultimately, AI is just a tool to help us make more informed decisions. And look at every generation we fear of. We can think of like the basic automation machines in factories. No one is replacing caps by hands anymore, right? And for the past 30 years, no one has thought of data scientists or content creator could be a job nowadays, right? So the essence here is that don't fear it. Adapt it to your daily routine. Not only can you survive, but you can also thrive. And referencing to one of the most traditional industry, medicine. Right now, doctors are actually using AI as software for diagnostics, surgery, so many other applications. And while we are on this, here we go. Any other thoughts? No. So maybe you are thinking of doctors like this picture, or operating table for surgery, or even drug development for cancers, right? And more macro stuff you can think of like aging population. But what I want to share with you is that healthcare is more than this. There's a very critical component called rehabilitation that we often overlook and neglect. And it's not just about fixed physical condition. It also refers to the mental condition and how we can help different people to rejoin society. Looking at this statistics by WHO, over 2.4 billion in the world right now, they can get better, more healthy, just by receiving the rehabilitation treatment they should have gotten. And in most countries on the left-hand side, you can see, over 50% of them who should have gotten rehab, they couldn't get it. So what it means is that in the equation of healthcare, we often focus on the upper part, which is prevention, diagnostics, and treatments, which is good. We want to save lives, right? But anyone thought of what happens afterwards? So after they discharge from hospital, they still need to get recovery, rehabilitation, and a lot of those people, because they're so ill, they cannot work anymore, so become jobless, right? So we need to focus on the lower part, how to get them back to the society. And that's exactly what we're doing. Today, we're trying to combine all three elements using the new approach, leveraging AI to serve this rehab segment. And among all the diseases, which one should we do? We pick stroke. Now, stroke is a brain disease that with a rupture or a blockage of a blood vessel in your brain, and then it cuts off the oxygen supply to certain brain region, resulting in damaging brain cells. So you can see a lot of stroke patients lose their bodily functions or even cognitive functions. So what happens is that it's not only very fatal, but it affects a huge population. Every year, there are over 15 million more new stroke cases, and over 80% of them require some kind of external assistance for their daily life. Even simplest things like drinking water, getting off bed, or even going to bathrooms. But what's even worse is that over half of them cannot walk properly afterwards, and that also induces to many forms of physical and mental problems. Right now, stroke is the single leading cause of long-term disability, and because of that, it leads to a lot of depression, suicide attempts, etc. So it's alarming. We want to dig into the reason why. Turns out, on your right-hand side, you can see this is a problem called foot drop or pointed foot, meaning all stroke patients have this kind of syndrome that they tilt their feet downwards. When they walk, there's an 8 times higher risk for falling. And when that happens, usually there's another stroke event, which is fatal. And currently in the market, we can see some kind of solutions out there, but usually they are not so affordable and not so portable. What happens then? These are some kind of new forms of robots, since we talk about robots, right? But these are called exoskeletons, can be worn by people. They are widely used in different industrial purposes in factories, or some kind of firefighters, forest rescuers would use them to assist their daily work. But they are not that well adopted in healthcare yet. But indeed, they usually have a place. What we're building now is a very lightweight portable exoskeletons for the patients to wear them not only in the hospital clinic settings, but they can also wear them at home for domestic settings so they can continue the rehab journey all the time. And not only that, we also have the data algorithm to collect all the data to assist the therapist to make more informed decisions to plan the treatments. Ultimately, what we want to do is treat the root cause of stroke. Since it's a brain disease, right? We want to use a neuroscience principle called use it or lose it. Simple as making sure we exercise the muscle more, connecting back to the brain. So the premise is step 1, triggering what we call neuroplasticity change. Now, in more layman terms, okay, it's barely meaning removing the functions from the damaged brain cells and reallocating to the healthy brain cells, connecting them back together. Now, that's step 1. With this premise, we use robots to help them provide certain strength for the strength conditioning and the physical condition. And then ultimately, we want to establish the brain-body connection. And at the end, the third step, we use all the data collected to help the therapist to do prognosis. What that means is that finally, we can do something about the treatment planning to predict when can our patients actually start walking again. And that is more important than ever because for family members of patients, they want to have hope to know when can the patients get better. Now, the next step is that we can also take Rehab Global. So exoskeletons is not just for stroke. What we can also do on the left side is that we can help other physical impairments induced by diseases or traumas, such as Parkinson's disease, spinal cord injury, multiple sclerosis, things like that. And then we can move a step to the right. For the elderly, no matter they're frail or healthy, we can also use this kind of exoskeletons to help them walk better and sort of alleviate the pressure from the joints. And last step, we can even use it for us healthy individuals. I'm an avid hiker. If I want to hike better, hike longer, I can use exoskeletons. And if you're an athlete, after a long, intensive sessions, you can use this for very active recovery as well. Now, combining what we've talked about today, Innovation is about the approach, right? Want to flip the table. We often talk about telemedicine. It means that you can FaceTime your doctors, and then they will chat with you and then prescribe some kind of medication sending to your home. But we don't talk about telerehabilitation enough. And there's an intrinsic barrier because rehab is very physical. We need some strength assistance. But right now, with exoskeletons, we can actually do this and sending it global. Ultimately, I don't want to just build a company. We want to be a community to facilitate a vision that a world without physical impairments. So everybody can get better physically and mentally and rejoin the society. Thank you.